Today we want to talk to you about ways of feeding your Labradoodle puppy that does not include the traditional food bowl. So we're going to use this product, Smack, which is a dehydrated form of raw food. And we're going to use this other item, which is called a snuffle mat. And together, these are going to provide you with a great opportunity to give your Labradoodle puppy some mental stimulation and encourage them to eat their meal. As you've probably seen in our other videos on nutrition and raw food, one of the things with Labradoodles is that they tend to not be motivated by food. This means it can cause all sorts of stress for their families, worrying about whether or not their dog is getting enough to eat in the day. Labradoodles just have to have about zero motivation when it comes to food. And also, when you have a day, if you're living on Vancouver Island, the West Coast, Vancouver, sometimes we get a lot of rainy days in a row. Today here is a really great example. It is a pouring rain day on Vancouver Island. And similarly, if you happen to live in northern BC or Alberta, and you have a day where it's cold and snowy and your Labradoodle just doesn't want to go outside for too long, or if it's just too hot, if you're in the interior of British Columbia, then you want to find ways to mentally stimulate your dog inside the house. And as well, when you're away from home, you want to have things for your Labradoodle to do so that they're not bored and enjoy the time that you're gone and aren't worried that you're gone. So feeding in a snuffle mat is something that really fits the bill for all these things. So what you do to make this little mat work is you just take your measuring cup, scoop out a day's worth of the Smack, and we're going to be using Hilda and Smoochie as our models for this little experiment here to show you how it works. And Hilda is an 11-week-old mini Australian Labradoodle puppy, and Smoochers is an 11-month-old mini Australian Labradoodle stud dog. So they both eat approximately half a cup in a day. Hilda actually eats a bit more than that, but this is all that she has of the dehydrated raw for a day. So you want to take your day's measurement, and it's important that you don't overfeed, which is easy to do because this food is so concentrated, and take, say, about half of that, just a good measure, and that's what we're going to put into the snuffle mat. Now, the snuffle mat is made just out of scraps of leftover fleece that are knotted into a rubber backing. And the purpose of this is it mimics a dog's natural tendency to forage for their food. So we take the bits of the Smack, and you can break them up into smaller pieces if you like, and we just hide them, so to speak, in amongst the different bits of fabric. And you want to spread it out quite a bit, just put in one at a time, and you want to put them fairly far in so that your dog has to actually work his brain and also use their paws in order to find where all of the food is located. So rather than spending about 10 minutes eating their food and maybe not being too excited about, oh yeah, there's my dish again, ho hum, if you have the food hidden and make your dog work for their food, then they're going to enjoy the experience much more, and you're going to be rest assured that your dog has eaten what they need for the day. I usually always take a couple of pieces and leave them fairly obvious right on the top to remind them that this is where the food is going to be located. So I'm going to go and get Hilda and Smoochers and show you in real live action exactly how this process works. So Smoochers and Hilda are finding the little bits of the dehydrated raw in the mat. Obviously, Hilda has a bigger brain than Smoochers because she's already munching away and he's still looking around trying to figure out what to do. Now, neither of these two puppies have seen a snuffle mat before, so it's a brand new experience to them. But you can see how absorbing it is and how it captures their attention. So this is great when you have a young puppy like Hilda. Hilda is an 11-week-old puppy, as I said before, and this is a great way for her to be occupied and using her mind and having a really fun time. And Smoochers is also now figured out what to do. Took him a little while to get with the program there, and so he's enjoying it as well. So it's great. It's a really good thing for your puppies. You can find these readily online, or you can even make your own. A couple of our Van Isle Doodle families have made snuffle mats for themselves, and a couple have purchased them from various sort of Etsy type of things. So that's your little bit of how to feed a dehydrated raw product out of the bowl for today.